about 22 million in the hands of Mexicans who are saving them, hoping justly, I think, that their saving these coins will be good for them and for their families. That if this coin is monetized, should the price of silver fall, it would have no effect upon the coin. Should the price of silver fall once the coin is monetized with a quote by the central bank? Our central bank is the equivalent of your Fed. Once our central bank declares that this coin is worth X amount of pesos, that means that it will become money. If, and only if, the central bank is forced, because they don't want to do it, to never issue a quote with a lower value, because we already tried to monetize a silver coin back in 1979. And what happened? Well, the central bank gave it a quote, but every day there was a different quote. Sometimes it went up and sometimes it went down. This raised havoc, and the coin really never did become money because it didn't have a stable quoted value. That's what we're trying to do, just to modify what we already tried to do in 1979 by stipulating that the central bank shall not diminish its last quote under any circumstances. And let me show you what would have happened with this coin if we had done this in 1995. Here, in 1995, this coin would have been monetized for 50 pesos. 50 pesos would have been the quoted central bank value of this coin in 1995, when the price of silver was so low and our rate of exchange was much lower than it is today. Perhaps it was around 5 pesos to the dollar. So 50 pesos would have allowed the bank to mint this coin with a profit. The yellow part is the profit of the central bank minting the coin, or the mint. The mint that is producing the coin obtains this profit. Now, you see, the price of silver did decline a little, but under this plan, the price, the value of the coin would not have diminished, same as it did over here. The price of silver diminished, but the value of the peso remained at 1 peso. Of course, it remained there because it was engraved. Well, now we'll do without the engraving and do with the quote of the central bank, which should be quite enough. Then in about 1998, the price of, or 97, the price of silver rose somewhat, and the central bank would have raised its quote gradually by a series of steps to a new value of about 80 pesos. And there it would have remained for about 10 years at 80 pesos, because the price of silver languished and went down way here, over here. Then we had a spike here, and the price of the coin would have been adjusted upward, and then upward again. And as the price of silver continues to rise, the quote goes up. Take a look at this. We start with a savings of 50 pesos, and we end up 13 years later with 235 pesos of savings. You didn't have to go to the bank, don't have to calculate interest. Just keep it in your safe, keep it at home, or in whatever safe place you want. And your savings increased because you didn't spend, you kept your money. And that's the basis of savings. And that's the best incentive for savings that there can possibly be. So you see, what we avoid with this is the melting point, which has been the nemesis of silver all over the world. This is the only way that a silver coin can be put into circulation permanently, along with paper money, which is increasing every day in volume, as you all very well know. So, imagine the benefit to the saver who had bought these coins at 50 pesos and hung on to them. Gresham's law says that bad money drives out the good. In other words, less desirable money pushes the good money into savings, and that's where all of these coins would go. Every single one of them would be going to savings. They could be used for making payments, but they would not be used for making payments. They would be used except in a very stringent and emergency circumstances, but they could be used as money. They could be used as money to pay for anything from your gas bill to a restaurant bill to travel to whatever you want. Money alongside with paper money. Sounds like a dream, but it's possible if there is the political will to have it done. And I want to mention this to you, especially at this Gold Conference, because what is on our minds, all of us who are worried about the terrible circumstances that are prevailing in the world today, that we must have a concrete plan which is viable and doable to put silver back into circulation. This plan of giving a quote to the coin would not work with gold. I thought at one time that it would. I'm sorry, I was mistaken. It would not work with gold. But it's important that we begin with silver. Once we have silver in circulation, paper is going to take care of itself. And what is going to happen to paper, we all know. It's going to fall in value and fall until governments begin to knock zeros off the amounts. Because we're now talking in the United States about trillions, where we used to talk about billions, and we were talking about billions when we talked about millions, and so forth. So that is what is going to happen to paper. The important thing is to have silver in the hands of the people as a defense, as a refuge for their hard-earned savings. And this must be done with a mass of the people. They must once again learn to appreciate silver. They must not forget about the metals. That's what our masters want us to do. They want us to forget that silver can be used as money. Much more so gold. It's much easier to make people forget gold because they never saw it. But silver is much closer to people. So, in closing, I would like to suggest to you that the American people begin to think about silver money in circulation once again, and by means of this plan, which is the only one in the world that I know of that puts a real silver coin into circulation along with official paper money, and it puts it into circulation permanently. No more melting point problems. I think that this is an important step forward. It's a concrete proposal. And so there you have it. It's Dorothy Silvershoes that inspired this. Thanks for listening. Bye.